I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, and then you say something that comes first in your mind, and we're trying to find a commonality till we find the same word.
Okay, Willie.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Dumb.
Lollipops. Oh, dumb lollipops. Here we go. 1.
So wait, we're going on dumb and lollipops. You can't.
No, you got to.
No, you go to the next 2 words and find the common denominator with
between
that.
dumb
and lollipops.
Okay.
Well, he taught me the game and don't know how to play.
I was trying to.
Okay, just go. 1, 2, 3. Watermelon. What is it?
I'm sorry, I blanked out. Go. Do it again.
1, 2, 3.
Sunflower.
Music. 1, 2, 3.
Seeds. You didn't say anything.
Because I couldn't think of anything.
Right, so you blanked out too, right.
I can't think of anything with music and sunflower.
Right, we got to get on the same page. Come on, do it again.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Guitar.
Hippie.
Okay. We're getting there. Here we go.
1, 2, 3. Woodstock.
Hey! Hey, look at that. Look, I told you it works. I told you. Look at that. Look at that.
He is so excited.
Look at that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of F It. F It.
Fuck it.
Yes, F It with Aikisha and Willie Cologne.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well, darling. How are you?
I am doing absolutely fantastic.
What was that?
It's F. It was an F word. So I have to say the F words with fantastic. Like F it.
I hate it.
Yes. No, I am. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. And that is because we just got back from vacation. And one of our F words for today is fantasy.
Hey.
Yay. We went on the Disney Cruise Line fantasy cruise ship. And it was amazing.
It was.
Y'all, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, we're going to break this cruise down, but I just have to say, this is one time, because normally when we go on vacation, I need a vacation from the vacation because you're traveling with
Most
the kids.
parents do.
Yeah. This is a family vacation. So family vacation on fantasy. Normally it's just a lot, you go, of course you have a good time. You want to make sure the kids have a good time, but it's a lot of us like getting the kids ready, doing this, going through the airport, getting them set up on the airplane with the iPads.
It's a process.
Yeah. Making sure they have the snacks. Well, it starts with me way before that, making sure they have everything packed, like having to pack William, having to pack Holly, making sure we have sunscreen, making sure we have medicines, making sure we have everything that they are possibly going to need on a trip. So it's a lot of work, at least on my end. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, I don't put as much into it as you do. I'm just trying to be the cool, calm one amongst the tribe because you get a little frantic and nervous between dealing with the kids and flying and trying to make sure we're on time with the addition of making sure we have passports, tickets, and money, with the addition of just dealing with the stresses of traveling, you absorb all of it. I necessarily, once I realize I'm getting on a plane or I'm traveling, as long as I'm prepared for the flight, I just let fate have his way.
Well, see, that's like he said, because he knows I have his passport. He knows that I packed the bags for the kids and myself.
Well, I pack our bags.
Well, you pack
the kids' bags.
I pack my bag and the kids' bags. Only thing you do is take a bunch of shit and throw it in the suitcase. Like after it's already packed up. So saying that to say, this time I did all of that, getting us ready for this cruise. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Willie and I are going to be taking our vacation in June, like we normally do in on our anniversary, but we want the kids to have a good time. Y'all, when we got on that cruise ship, I can tell you that, what do you say? What'd you say about that mouse?
The mouse knows how to throw a cruise.
Oh, man. there was no stone unturned. You were literally able to come on, and it began to feel like a vacation after the welcoming. I think the bon voyage, when we're getting ready to cruise off and everybody's dancing, having a great time. They're offering drinks to the parents. You know, you can get your little alcoholic beverage. It's just not one of those places where everything is catering to the kids. They actually have things that cater to us.
Well, yeah, listen, I think, first of all, the process getting to the boat was easier than expected.
It really was.
I think once we were able to get the kids and ourselves on the boat, we were greeted with a crew shouting out our last names and greeting us. That was cool.
Welcome the
family, the Johnsons.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool.
That was.
And then, like I've stated with people, I've talked to people about our experience thus far. I was anti-cruise prior to this cruise solely because, you know, one of the things I didn't enjoy when we both went on our first cruise for our honeymoon, I didn't like being able to dock somewhere, liking the place, and forced to be back on the boat by 2:00 because we were sailing off by 3:30 or 4 to get to the next destination. On top of that, I also didn't like the fact that you really didn't get to experience the food on the boat because everything was, you kind of pushed along because you're on a tight schedule.
Well, you didn't know what to expect. It was your first cruise.
That was my first cruise.
Yeah, I've been cruising for some years. So I knew that we were going to get there early that morning. You have the entire day, and then you have to be back at the end in the evening so we can sail off to the next place. And we were visiting, I mean, y'all, we were on the Mediterranean. So we were going from Italy to we went to Greece. We went to Malta.
Yeah.
We went to
a bunch of places.
We went to a bunch of places. So I knew what to expect. But the thing that was happening with Willie at the time is he would get to certain places he really liked. Like he loved Malta. You loved Athens. You actually liked Athens. Yes.
I love Rhodes. I love all that.
So he wanted to stay longer. And it was kind of like the thing where we got to get back to the ship, because if not, then you're going to be responsible for getting yourself back where you need to go. So it was rushing to you, but that, I'm not going to take anything away from that cruise. That was an amazing cruise as well. It was good. With this one, it's because we knew we were going to the island. We knew we were going to be on the beach all day. And by the time that day had come to an end, after we had been out there in the sun and baking and eating and just having a great time with the kids, we were ready to get back on the ship because the ship had so many other activities for the children, for your adults. We had our 17-year-old niece with us. There was a teen club, a teen pool, an area where we hardly ever even saw her until we were coming together for dinner. Remember, she was just like a little grown lady on there waving at us as she went by.
Yeah, I mean, it was enough for even if you had, I think the biggest misconception, especially if you have like a younger child, like a 1 or 2 year old, they're like, what can they do? They even had a section for the babies.
Yeah,
they had toddlers. I mean, they even had, as far as adults, we didn't even get to all of the adult areas because we had gone up. We had a massage set up for 2. They had like a villa set up where you had a deck looking over the ocean as we were sailing. We had couples massages, but we took in all of that. We didn't even get to like the 4th level where they had a pub. They had tequila tasting, beer tasting, wine tasting. There was a lot for the adults.
There were a lot of things. So it was truly a vacation for everyone. But I want to talk about another F word on that cruise. And it was the food. It was the food. Guys, when you go on like kid resorts
or Sandals Resort,
the food is just very basic, and I hate to say that. I mean, and I love our beaches and Sandals. Shout out to Turks and Caicos because we used to go there every year. Mm-hmm. But the food is actually good there. But for the kids, it's just chicken fingers, maybe hot dogs and hamburgers or something like that.
Which they did have.
Yeah, they had all of that. But it was delicious.
Okay, Aikisha.
No, I'm just saying. You remember that first day, the burger? I mean, you walked over. I'm over there chomping down on a burger. You came up to me with crab claws and lamb chops. Uh-huh. Like the food was so good. And every night we were going to different restaurants on the ship. So you ate with your family, you ate with your group. But the first night we were in the Garden of Eden. No, the Enchanted Garden. I don't know why I keep saying the Garden of Eden.
I don't know why either.
The Enchanted Garden, because all of the restaurants are themed on Disney movies. So we went to the Enchanted Garden the first night. But your staff, your serving staff, they follow you to each restaurant. So from there, we went to the Royal Court. Royal Court was from Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So, I know you don't know.
41 years old.
Yes, I watch it with the kids. So we went to Royal Court. We stayed in Royal Court 2 nights, but get this. If your group happens to stay in the same restaurant for 2 nights, the menu changes. So we were in Royal Court for 2 nights, and then we went to Animator's Palace. Now, remember, that was really good. Remember, that's where we had all of the animation on the walls, and the characters interacted with you and the kids. So that was really good. Every night it was a 4 to 5 course meal, and it was good. It was tasty. It was seasoned and flavorful.
They had options. The service was as pristine and as efficient as possible. I do like the fact that, listen, I'm going to be honest, they had a 24-hour ice cream machine.
And my mother, they worked every day and every night.
They had a chocolate and vanilla swirl. They had strawberry. They had banana. They had plain vanilla. But the one that stole my heart was the mango ice cream. And I'm gonna be honest. I hadn't had mango ice cream up until I landed on the Mouse's boat, and it was absolutely outstanding to the point where every night while I was on that trip, I would sneak away from my family.
Yes.
Go to the 11th floor, quietly walk over to the ice cream machine, and stack me some mango ice cream
on a cone
and lick myself back to my room. Lick my ice cream. I said, lick myself. Lick my ice cream back to my room. It was absolutely outstanding.
It really was.
Maybe the secret highlight of my trip, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all we did.
I mean, we did a lot. We made love on the boat. We saw fireworks. We did a lot. But the mango ice cream was absolutely fantastic.
I think the highlight on the fantasy for me was taking my daughter and son to the Bippidi Bobbidi Boo experience. And this is where you go in. We had an appointment on actually our first night there. And your kids, the girls choose princess characters to dress up as. And the boys can choose from a knight, a pirate, and a captain.
Mickey.
Yeah, Captain Mickey.
I wanted my son Ford to be Captain Mickey because they had the trousers, they had the black shoes, they had the whole kind of get up. He said no. No. He chose to be. He
wanted to be a knight. And when we explained to him, y'all, my son took this role so serious.
He was dedicated from the start.
He was so dedicated from the start. You are right. We told him how the knight protects the castle, protects the king and queen, and protects the princess. And he was just like, I am on it. So y'all, Willie and I didn't go in with any expectations. We just knew it was separate. You had to pay for whatever experience they chose. And of course, they wanted the full experience. I thought it was a little pricey, but I'm like, okay, let's go through here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was very adamant about my daughter being Tiana because,
well, who did she want to be?
She wanted to do Elsa when she first got in there.
And Elsa wears what?
And Elsa wears the blue dress, and that's Elsa's from Frozen.
And
they
didn't
love
allow
that dress.
Holly to be Elsa. Why?
Well, one, I didn't want her to be Elsa because she has that costume. She has it already.
Right. Well, I want to get the context. If people are like, Keisha, stay on that. No, I'm just saying the reason you didn't allow her.
I wasn't going to allow her to do Elsa because she had that exact dress. She was Elsa for Halloween. But Tiana is one of our African-American, one of our Black princesses.
Right.
And I am raising a Black daughter.
Correct.
And there were a lot of princesses. You had Belle on there. They had Cinderella. They had a Snow White. But there were a lot of Tiana costumes left. And I wanted to let them know that we are really excited about, our Tiana. And I'm not from New Orleans, but I'm from Mississippi, right above New Orleans. So I love the story. I love the culture. I just thought I love Tiana. That's my favorite princess. And honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I was pushing her toward Tiana. But you know what? When she held the dress up and she looked at it, she said, Tiana.
Yeah.
And we chose Tiana. So you and I honestly, when we were going in, we were thinking we were going to go in, they were going to do some hair and makeup.
Well, it was fun for me because me and my son don't play dress up.
Right.
So the fact that he was excited to be a knight and go through the experience, which he was excited for, but I didn't realize he wasn't so much excited to dress up. He was excited because when you put on the costume, they give you a shield and a sword.
Yes.
And he was geeked to have a shield and a sword. Excited. So that's all he really cared about, which is understandable. What kid wouldn't love a shield and a sword?
Yes. And so they bring them out. We go in, the parents take them in and they change into their costume, their attire, and they go to their seats and begin the process of turning into this princess and knight. So they do their hair. They do their hair. It's an entire production. They're giving them the story. They're talking about, the fairy godmother, and they are princesses of the fairy godmother who turns them into this princess and this knight. So just the production of it was absolutely amazing. We were really engaged with everything that Arvy, that's who was working on Holly, and I forgot the young lady's name that was working on William. But Arvy was just so attentive, and Holly, my daughter, was so into it. They did her nails, and then she did makeup after her hair. And y'all, after they go through the entire process of hair, makeup, nails, and he's giving us the story, and they give them both these looking glasses for them to make a wish. Well, first, Willie.
Yeah, so my son
Williams, yes.
My son was done first with the whole makeover, and they asked him, "What's your wish?" And they let him know there's rules. One, you only have one wish. Mm-hmm. I forgot the second one was
you couldn't ask to be.
You can. I
can't remember his. I know Holly's. You couldn't ask to be more beautiful or something.
Something like that. But anyway, my son ended up saying, I want my sister to be a princess. That was
the prettiest. He said he wanted her to be the prettiest princess in the world.
That was his one wish, and I thought that was like,
we kind of looked and we were like, oh, okay, but we were still just like, oh, that was so sweet. And then Holly goes and she does her wish, and so they do the big reveal. So they turn Holly around. I was getting emotional as she was getting ready because honestly, guys,
you were crying.
Well, it's because
all the way through the process.
It's because as I'm watching her put on the nail polish and they're doing her makeup, all of these scenes start playing in my head. I saw her getting ready for her first father-daughter dance. I saw her getting ready for her first 8th grade ball. Then I went from that to seeing her getting dressed for prom. I was picking out prom dresses to that, going to college and then the wedding. I don't know. All of these scenes played in my mind. So I was getting very emotional watching my daughter at 3 years old go through this process. And so when they turned her around to the mirror, I just remember I was sitting behind her and I'm looking in the mirror. So they have her close her eyes. And I know it's getting me emotional even thinking about it. They have her close her eyes. And when she opened her eyes up and looked in that mirror and was just like, it was so emotional for me. And I was just so happy and excited. I've never experienced that much joy through watching her put on a costume and little makeup. I don't know. I can't really explain to you guys, but the joy I felt was just overwhelming and I couldn't do anything but cry. But I look over at this one. He's bawling too, y'all. What did you feel?
It was beautiful, right? Like I'm watching. Yes. Listen, my daughter could be a hurricane. She could be a lot. God. She has a mother's personality. She has her grandmother's fight, and there's a lot of really strong and proud women that's wrapped up in this one little girl. So she can be a hurricane, like I mentioned. However, when she's sitting in that chair, you can tell she's really soaking in the nails, the makeup, the attention is now all on her. And what, you guys don't know, I remember when my mother used to get dressed up and got excited when she either saw something, if she ever acknowledged something being pretty or really kind of like glam, my mother always stuck out her hands like did this and did that. So I saw my mother in a quick flash, and it was just like a lightning bolt to the heart that she had the same reaction my mother had when anytime she saw something sharp or cute. My mother will always do like this. So when Holly did it, it was just like a moment in time. It's my little girl. Me and Holly have a very daughter-father relationship. Like we fuss a lot because we're both strong-minded, but we love each other.
Y'all have a great bond. Yeah. I love watching you guys.
We love each other immensely. So I got caught up in the moment. The whole Bippidi bop, and when she turned around, saw herself, and she was like, "Whoa!" And to recognize like my mother did that, it was just like, oh, it just crushed me. So I wasn't planning on crying at the Bippidi Bop boutique, but
we both gave it up.
I had to get up and take a walk because I was about to start making noises.
Yes, it was, like I said, it's one of the joys so far. I know there are going to be many, many, many more to come, and I look forward to each and every one of them. But in that moment, just like you, I just had this entire scene play out. I
didn't have the entire scene.
I did. I just saw everything.
Yeah, I was just wrapped up in my little girl, just looking like a true Disney princess. It was like, yes. It was like, wow, this is.
And that's so going back to why I wanted her to pick Tiana as a princess, because representation matters. And so for her to see a princess that looks like her, because when they were doing the hair, they also, what comes along with it is like this hair piece that you can put on. And I remember he was getting ready to put the hair ball on her. And it's just like it's a straight hair piece. I mean, you guys know what I'm saying. But when he put that on top of her natural hair and her texture, my niece and I both were like, no, we like her bun better. And so he said, oh, well, it comes a part of it. And I said, yeah, that's fine. But no, we like her bun and her natural hair better. And just to see how comfortable Holly is in her skin and who she is.
Comfortable in her skin, which is awesome.
Yes.
Which we, as parents in this crazy ass world, we were trying to raise her. And that's something that we have to fight for and preserve, because we watch little girls be hypersexualized. They're forced to grow up so fast because of social media and all their peers. To see her look at herself and be like, oh, wow, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, I'm special.
And they didn't do any extra. Like she didn't get any, besides, like I said, the little light makeup and, it wasn't like she put on the blonde wig or, like needed this long, like the hairpiece. She was beautiful just as she is. And as a mother, that is all I want. That is my prayer each and every day. And that's what I pour into her every day. So it was.
Needless to say, and Aikisha and I were puddles by the end.
Oh gosh, we were.
And I do want to say one thing about the boat that was extremely dope. And I know we've talked about this. When you have a lot of kids, or you're amongst a lot of kids, it's easy to get irritated, especially with your kids and other people's kids, because it's meltdowns over here, it's crying over here, kids are running crazy. It's chaos. It's valid. It was a lot of kids and it was a lot of people. I did appreciate, which kind of we talk about lowering anxiety. The fact that every parent and every mother got the message, the unwritten message, which was everybody's dad and everybody's mom. So everybody was attentive to each other's kids. Even if you'd never seen that kid or knew that kid, you were still respectful and tolerant of that kid and whatever mental
and we didn't
state
have
they
to
were
be
in.
on guard. I don't want to say guard, but as parents, when you go somewhere and you may be somewhere where everybody doesn't have kids, or at somebody's house where their kids may be older and it's set up, you're always like, oh wait, oh I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean. We didn't have to do any of that, right? Because it's like every parent understood where we were, the journey. So when kids came past and knocked into you or knocked something out your hand or spilled something over, everybody's like, oh, it's fine, no, it's okay, I have it, let me help you. And the crew was very attentive to that as well. So if your kid was having a tantrum, parents were just like, either help you or they would step right over them and we would keep on moving. So I have to say that cruise overall. Oh,
no, I was just saying, for example, there was a time where we were on the beach and my daughter Holly walked up to this gentleman, and because she had, I think, sand on her face, walked up to this gentleman and wiped her face on this dude's shirt.
Entire face on this
And I remember
shirt.
looking at the guy like, all right, he's either going to get mad or like, where's your parents? He did nothing. He looked right at me. He was just like, dude.
Yes.
Carry on. Like, yeah, he goes, you're fine. Like, there's nothing. He goes, she can come back if she gets some more sand on her face, which was a good feeling. I do want to also mention that one of the things that I did appreciate on the boat, besides the ice cream, was that, you talk about the fairy godmother. The dude whose name was Ari, RV?
Oh, RV, yes.
Yeah, I had seen him later the next day as we were walking on to the beach. I had stopped at the gift shop to get the kids buckets and shovels. And he happened to be behind the counter. And he recognized me. He recognized Holly's name. He was like, oh, you're Holly's father. And I was like, yes. He was like, she was amazing. I was like, man, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. That was an amazing experience. I cried. My wife cried. And you kind of made the cruise with that one experience. He's like, no problem. It was nothing. Well, later on that day, actually the next day, we find a note on the door. And what did the note say? It
was just saying how amazing Holly is, and he enjoyed working with us and working with her. And he was just pouring into her, saying, sweet things about being a princess and the responsibilities of a princess, and for her to continue being who she is. And he said, from your fairy godmother's apprentice, Arby.
And it was dope.
It was beautiful.
It was dope because it was a personalized message.
Yes, and written out.
And to my point to it all was, it's good to be on a boat amongst the faculty, not the faculty, the workers, if you will, and they see your kid. Because it's a lot of kids,
mm-hmm.
and they
do these cruises back to back. Like when we got on the boat, a group was going off, and when we were leaving, another group was about to come on. So for him to take the time to remember Holly, correct. And so that she made some sort of impression on him.
They saw your kid, so that's my point.
It was. So overall, we would like to give Disney Cruise Line, if you guys want to watch this and give us a free cruise, we will take it. But we give you an A+, and we are definitely sharing our experience.
I think we talked about this too. If you haven't been to Disney World and you haven't been to Disneyland, this is a good starter.
It's a great start.
Yeah, because you get enough of Mickey and Donald and Pluto, which we saw them all. And you do it in a short enough time, and you don't have to deal with the lines and kind of the madness of walking all over the place. This was very.
And if you want to start earlier, like with your kids, because a lot of times for us, we haven't taken our kids to Disney World or Disneyland yet, because I want them to be able to walk and appreciate it, where we're not having to carry them and they're getting tired and they're getting worn out. So we always said we wanted to wait until they were a little bit older. So for us, this was perfect. And Kids Club, let me tell you something, that is your parents' best friend. And for a great thing about it is that our kids loved the Kids Club. They were looking forward to seeing their friends. We were talking to parents, like setting up play dates, like, yeah, we're going to take them to Kids Club around 4:30 when we were coming off the beach. So that was really good.
Let me ask you this. We've told the people how much we loved it and enjoyed it, and that the boat is for all ages, from babies all the way up to senior citizens. My mother-in-law also attended a trip.
Yes.
She's 77 years old, and she was having the time of her life. They have shows, they have movies, everything. Now people want to hear, what's the con? Is there anything that the boat could have been better, or anything we could have done better to prepare for the
Well, I know for
trip?
me, the con for me is I needed to get more. It was just so much going on leading up to us getting ready to go. And everybody has to download an app. It just works. The app keeps your family connected. You guys can do group text on there. It lets you know everything that's going on, the times of the shows, the movies, where everything is. My niece was on it because, listen, that's her generation. For me, I think I should have been a little more active in knowing what was happening on the app. Because like I said, we missed the entire deck. We didn't go on deck 4 at all. And that's where all of the adult activity was. They had bowling. They had everything on that deck.
I mean, to your defense, you were wrapped around the kids having an amazing time and kind of catering to everything they wanted to do.
So for me, that's a con, something I could have done better. But let me see. What? Well, I didn't like Well, even though the walk, because when you got off, you had to schedule. So the first island we went to, Disney has a 96-year lease on 2 Bahamian islands. And I do appreciate that too, because they're paying money to the Bahamian government, which is giving money back to them. The first one we went to was Lookout Point. and it's a walk. So where the ship comes in, it's about a half a mile to a mile walk to get onto the property. But if I would have paid attention to the app, I would have set up us transportation, but it's not a bad walk.
No, it's not.
So,
And we got our steps in.
Yeah, we got good exercise.
We was able to see the water on both sides of the
but
bridge.
What you said for some, that may not have been a con for us, but that could be seen as a con if somebody gets off and they're like, damn, we got to walk all the way over here. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I didn't really have any cons. I know that sounds crazy. Some people.
The only thing that pissed me off on the trip, so we had a deck, we had a balcony, and on both sides of those dividers were obviously another families. And there was this one kid who kept peeking around the corner and just staring at me and my family. And I had told the kid, mind you, this is day one. I was like, hey, how can I help you? And the kid could have easily been 6, 7, or 8. I don't know. But he was a young kid. Well, his father had called him as a, hey, that's those folks' balcony. Respect their privacy. Don't keep looking over here. And so I was like, good job, Dad. Right? Acknowledge it. And I was only annoyed because I have, when we come from the beach, the whole family gets naked. I got my naked daughter walking around. I got my naked wife walking around. We're all kind of naked. And this kid kept peeking around the corner. Now, I had told him 3 or 4 times, like, hey, please don't do that. Mind your manners. And my wife goes, well, he's just a kid. Now,
and
I know
that goes to us talking about being tolerant parents like everyone else was with our kids.
Right. And I'm going to go there.
Okay.
I was tolerant up until the point where, we're butt naked, the whole family.
Yeah, but like you said, it wasn't like the dad was peeking around there. And that's not a con on Disney because there are dividers.
It's not a con.
This kid was literally leaning out over the ocean, bringing his head around to look over on our side. So
it's not for me, Disney, it was. But that was the only thing that was pissing me off.
Yeah, it's more scarier that you were climbing up over, trying to look over into our on the other side of the divider. But right now, and look, if any of you have been on a Disney cruise, please comment below and tell us what your pros and cons were. I think I was just so excited to be able to come back from a vacation where I did not feel completely depleted and needing another vacation. I had a great time, and I'm going to tell y'all know the number one thing for me was food. The
food, they did really good.
And it was really, really good.
I mean, they pound you with food. There's not a day or a moment where you don't have access to like really good options. They have, if you're vegan or vegetarian, they have options
you.
Yeah. However you like it, they're willing to prepare it for you. So it was to see the boat have to feed the masses. They did a good job of having options and making the food top notch.
It was absolutely amazing. Like I said, it was seasoned very well. The options were, they were top notch, top tier. It wasn't like you were getting.
Talk about the entertainment, because you took the kids to go see the Frozen show.
Yeah. So their entertainment, my mom went the first night to see Aladdin. We were so tired because we had gotten up early. Our flight left at 6 a.m. and we just had a long day. So that first night we didn't get to see Aladdin, but they said it was amazing. It was Broadway style Aladdin. The next night they had Frozen on the stage and it was really good. My kids love Frozen. Like I said, my daughter wanted to be Elsa. My son is in love with Anna and Elsa. So, we really enjoyed the show. We chose the later show because they do the show twice. Either you have early dining or late dining. We did early dining because I knew that my kids would be starving and they would not enjoy a show if they did not eat first. Frozen was amazing. Then that next night was Pirate Night. Remember, we had all of the characters. They gave like this entire show up on the pool deck. So the entertainment, y'all, and then they show movies like in the movie theater. They had Mufasa, which is on. They had Moana 2 showing. So you have to go into the app. Or you can stop by guest services or anybody who has on a uniform and they will let you know where to go, where things are. Like I said, again, I have no complaints.
Yeah, the mouse did the damn thing.
They did. So overall, as I was saying, for the Colognes Disney Cruise Line, Fantasy is an A+. Right. So today's show is going to be a little bit shorter. We are going to be back next week. We have an F for you next week. Next week is going to be fasting.
Did I agree to that?
What?
Did we agree to Can I ever pick a F?
Yes, one day I will let you pick an F. Okay.
I have a lot of Fs.
I bet you do. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to us. If you enjoy our podcast and enjoy our show, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share it. Make sure you like it and comment below. I would really like to hear from some of you guys about if you've gone on a Disney cruise, if you would be interested in going on a Disney cruise. And shout out to my girl, Emily Colston. She is the agent.
Shout out her company.
It's Emily Colston. And so she is who set us up with the Disney cruise. She is a travel agent with them. So make sure you hit her up at Emily Colston. You can find her on Instagram, EMILY Colston, COLSTON. She made sure that we were taken care of from the time we stepped off that plane until we got back on the plane heading back to New Jersey. So thank you, Emily. Thank you, Disney Cruise Line. The fantasy was amazing. We are already planning our next Disney cruise. We're thinking about Treasure for the next Disney cruise. That's going to be, and it's a longer one. Treasure is actually a 7-day cruise. We did a 5-day this time. This was going to be 7 days. So we're
have to bring some edibles for that one.
We're really excited about that. But again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Aikisha and Willie Cologne on Effort. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. See you next week.
Peace.